All right, guys, it's the next day, and we're finally working on the new shell. We're going to be assembling everything on this car since we originally got everything taken off this car. So now we can just focus on this car and this car only. Now, the first thing I'm going to start with is getting the roof spoiler actually mounted. That way I can get the headliner and all the pillars in. So we're going to get these drilled. We're going to get it touched up with paint. And then we're going to get some silicone. And then get these ends bolted down. And right now I have it mocked up. I have it mocked up where I like it. It's even, it's straight. It's pretty much in the factory location. I measured it like 10 times. And everywhere it sits nice and flush. So I think this is where I'm gonna drill my first holes. So I got the first 2 bolts in and it worked out really good. I'm gonna get these top holes marked and then drilled. And then I'm just going to leave this kind of loose in here until I can get some silicone. And I need to get some touch-up paint for the raw metal now for the holes. But, yeah, it's just bolted up in there right now. Just loosely, finger tight, so that way I can get these top holes marked and drilled. So, yeah, it turned out pretty good. Then all I got to do is go pick up some, like, silicone. That way I can throw some silicone on those holes so when I put the actual spoiler on and mount it final, that way no water ever gets in. We don't have any leaks like that whatsoever. And then once that goes in, then I can start throwing in the headliner and all that stuff, all the pillars and whatnot. So that's one thing I wanted to get out of the way kind of right away. That way I could just be done with it. Because I hate drilling into like these clean cars, but the roof spoiler, I mean, what can you do? It looks good, it's easy, and it's going to be hard for it to actually rust. I mean, unlike this car where like a chunk of Bondo was here, obviously probably because they messed up. So yeah, we're not doing that. So we're doing 2 easy holes each side, and we're done. So yeah, let's fast forward to getting some silicone and then sealing it up. All right, guys, so I'm skipping the roof spoiler right now, and I'm moving on to the headliner. I just threw it in. I threw in a couple clips, and man, this looks a lot better than the factory gray. So I got the rest of the stuff kind of hung up, and this roof looks a million times better. Man, I'm really happy how it turned out. I mean, obviously the headliner was scuffed up and shit before, but I think it looks really good. I'm going to pick this up more tomorrow on my way home from work. But yeah, I'm super stoked with how the car is turning out so far. What's going on, guys? We're back and we're working on the new STI. Today, we're actually putting in the bulkhead harness. As you guys can see, I just plopped it in here real quick. I haven't started running anything through the firewall. I did get the roof spoiler mounted up, siliconed, so it's all ready to go. We got the bolts back in there. We got it silicone. That way it's not gonna leak whatsoever. So mounted up super nice. I'm super happy with it. I was able to mount it properly, unlike that one right there. But yeah, my goal is to get this bulkhead in and get the carpet in. That way I can actually start cleaning up the shop, because obviously I have parts just laying everywhere. And now that this STI is out of the picture, we don't even have to worry about this thing anymore. I don't even want to look at it. I'm just kidding. But anyways, now we can just focus 100% on this car and make this car as beautiful as we can make it. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited that it's going to turn out super nice, super happy with how it already is turning out. Obviously, like, it's not perfect, but like, he's going to drive the car and like he's going to take it to shows. And it's a good day when you can save another GD from another GD, because these cars are getting harder and harder to find, especially clean. So someone that's gonna take care of this car, especially a clean car, I'm super happy and excited about. So with that being said, let's get this freaking bulkhead harness in. You know what I'm saying? right, guys, so we got the bulkhead, or at least the majority of the bulkhead in. We got all the interior stuff pretty much done. And right now, I'm just do a quick vacuum underneath here. And then I'm gonna slap the carpet in because it's time for the carpet to go in the car. This car is actually coming together super fast. Interior wise, at least, because I have all the interior stuff. Interior stuff is pretty much just ready to drop right in. So I'm gonna do a quick vacuum and then get this carpet in. All right, so I just quickly threw the carpet in, but sadly, I'm gonna call it a night for working on the car. Tomorrow I'm gonna come back, get the rest of the interior done and finished up pretty much. That way the rest of the stuff is just gonna be exterior, motor, rear diff, pretty much exterior of the car. That way interior of the car is kind of done. I could just shut all the doors. I have to open them constantly, and then that's really gonna clean up a lot of the mess over here as well. I gotta put the steering in still, boxes of interior parts, just tons of stuff that is really just taking up a lot of space that I could put on right now, clean up, put on, and then just be done with it. So that's the plan for tomorrow, is finish up the interior as much as I can get done. So guys, it's the next day and we're gonna keep working on the new STI. So it's time to throw the trim back in. We got all the new clips on both sides, so we're gonna slap these in. We're gonna slap all the new trim on and then basically get the whole rear end put on, besides the seats, because I wanna get the dash in, and then we can just center console and then move on from there. The whole rear trunk is done. He is gonna build like a little custom like wood piece there, since the carpet he had was so, like the pegboard stuff was so like messed up. So he's gonna build something nice for that, just because he does have like this cool WRX STI, if you can see it, rear carpet. So he's gonna build something so this can go back in. Obviously this needs to be like steamed out and cleaned super nice, because there's a bunch of shit just sitting on it. But I'll vacuum it up as nice as I can and then throw it in. But yeah, it's time to get this painted trim in, so let's slap that stuff in. Alright guys, so I got a lot of the interior trim on now, and as you guys could see, it's looking pretty damn good to me. I'm going to do some work off camera. I'm going to get this dash in real quick, and then just get that plopped in there real quick. That way we can just work on getting the rest of the trim pieces in here, and really finishing up this interior. It's coming along fast, it's looking super good, and we're starting to clear up some space over here, which is awesome. So I'm going to get all this stuff installed real quick, and we'll be right back. So the dash is in and looking good. I think it's time we're gonna throw the climate control in, and that way all that is out of the way, because everything pretty much under the dash is all done. So nothing really gotta worry about underneath there. We can throw the cluster in, we can throw all the stuff in. We're gonna rewire his gauges completely because they was just a mess, complete mess. Let's cook out the rest of this interior. Alright, center console's all in, front carpet's in. I think it's time to throw the front and rear seats in, and then we'll move on to door cards, and then interior is pretty much gonna be done. Yeah, this angle right here, it looks killer. Oh yeah. Alright, let's throw the back and front seats in, and then we'll move on to door cards. Let's get at it. Alright guys, the interior's done. So I'm super happy with how the black turned out. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks 10 times better than what it was. Interior is pretty much all back together. We did end up fixing that as well. So, yeah. the trunk is pretty much done too. We have everything here besides that one carpet piece that we could just throw in here. But we do still have to do door cards, but I mean, that's going to be something I can do right now, I guess. Yeah, I might as well. But this is pretty much the pile of stuff we have left. We have very, very little amount left, which is awesome because now I can clean up, organize this stuff a lot better. And then once we get the rear diff in and we get the engine bay pressure wash, then this is the last step on this restoration, besides painting, but that's going to come after the car's running and tuned, which really shouldn't take long either, considering I have everything here to tune the car, and all we need is an e-tuner. So I'm really hoping by next video we have rotors in, we have wheels on, that way we can take this thing out and then pressure wash it. Pressure wash the entire car, honestly, because it needs it. But I really pressure wash and focus on the engine bay degreasing and really cleaning that up. And then that way, the last thing that it needs to run is just the engine dropped in. And then after, this is the last thing. We're going to do this for a full day. We're going to tear this thing down. We're going to reseal it. And then we're going to make this thing nice. We're going to paint it as much as we can, if we even can, if it's worth it. If we can't get like all this stuff off to where it's somewhat paintable surface, then it's really not worth it. We can just send it as is. But this motor ran and it was healthy, but it's leaking from every spot. And we have brand new timing belt kit. We have gasket kit. We have a ton of stuff, fresh oil, fresh coolant. We have fresh gear oil going in the entire car. So this car is going to drive really nice. We do have pretty much a full tank of premium in this car right now. And this is only, I think it's 8 months old. So we can burn through that and then we can put in fresh, nice fuel. And then after this car is tuned and my painter is ready, then we can go get this thing painted. So obviously I'm not done with the interior, so let's finish it up. Let's get these door cards on. All right, guys, so it's the next day and we got one of the door cards on. But we didn't really finish up the rest of it. But plans have changed. We are going to take this thing to the scrapyard. We're going to take off all the rest of the parts that are usable and sellable, and then load this thing up on the trailer and then get this thing out here. As you guys can see, we already cut off the core support. We took off the fenders and all that stuff. We're still going to drop a bunch of this stuff that we may be able to sell to make some money back so we can put that towards paint on this car. But I mean, there really isn't a lot. There isn't much left on this car that's really worth saving or keeping because it's so rusty and dented and panels are just not straight. Like this, yeah, the trunk, it would need quite a bit of work to fix that body line. So the trunk's really not worth it. As you guys can see with the flares off, it does have a lot of rust. All the doors are really not in any condition worth saving. But yeah, the door cards we can save, the seats, all this interior stuff we can keep. Maybe someone else wants it. We'll keep the coilovers. We'll take the coilovers off and whatnot after we load it up on the trailer. We're gonna get wheels put on this car, and that way I can roll it up onto the trailer, and then we can take it to scrap. Car is loaded up. Obviously I still got to strap it down and take off some of the parts, but man, does it feel good to get rid of this thing. Look how much room getting rid of that car freed up. Now we can move this car over here if we want, and then we can lay out all the parts. We have room on both sides to have doors fully open and not have to worry about anything, but that would make way too much sense. I think it's time to bring my bug-eye wagon here, and that way I can bring that in here and start to work on that when I finish this thing up. All right, anyways, we're gonna take off the wheels. We're gonna get some of the interior stuff out, and then we're gonna take off these coilovers and pretty much run through the entire car, take off any extra tabs that are in good shape that we can use for this car or just for future projects. So I'm gonna quickly take all that stuff off, get that thing completely stripped, and then get it strapped down. And that way, hopefully this weekend, we can take it to the scrapyard. As much as I hate taking these cars to the scrapyard, obviously this is like a perfect example where it's just too far gone to save. So yeah, I try to take everything I can off the cars before they actually go to the yard. That way, obviously the owner of the car gets all the parts that he can use or sell, and that way he can make some money back. But if it was my personal cars, I'd take pretty much everything off the car that is usable for future projects. You know, any of my friends, any parts, or even like if I have too many, then I could just sell them myself. So let's get this thing fully stripped. That way we don't have to worry about that thing anymore, besides taking it to the scrapyard. All right guys, car's loaded up and we took off the rest of the parts right there, and the majority of the stuff is already in the shop, but this is what's left. This is what's going to the scrapyard. Now it's time to focus on this thing 100%. All right guys, so this is where we're gonna end it for the day. I did end up getting the door cards on, but that's the only other stuff I got done. I got the passengers on, both of the rears are on. So full interior is done now, and we got most of this place cleaned up. We got all his old parts listed up for sale, and then we got his old car on the trailer ready to go to scrapyard. Now the next step is obviously getting the rotors on, getting the wheels on, deep cleaning the engine bay, interior, trans, and then have this thing pretty much completely ready besides the motor. Then once we get this thing all ready, then the only thing needs is the motor dropped in and paint. We're then gonna be tearing this down and then painting a bunch of this stuff, like this intake manifold, this strut bar. We're gonna be getting his injectors flowed, and then, you know, painting this bracket, getting a new filter, figuring out this downpipe situation, fixing his exhaust, and then resealing his motor. And then once all that stuff is done, toss it in here, load a tune on here, and then drive it. I really am a big fan of the roof spoiler and the WRX wing. And I do have an OEM roof spoiler for my car right here. I'm really thinking about the WRX wing as well. I think that would be a really good combo, especially with the STI rear bumper. Man, I'm getting excited. All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for this video. We did get quite a bit done. We got the entire interior done, finished up, and now we're just waiting on some parts. That way we can roll it outside, clean the engine bay, and go on from there. We also did decide we are gonna be using the R180. We did get a drive shaft for it, and now we just need to find some 04 STI rear axles. That way they go into the R180 and then still go into these 50100 hubs. So yeah, waiting on rear axles, and that's it. And then we can make this thing roll. Obviously rotors as well. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.